All right, those last 2 weeks before a board exam, they can feel like a total pressure cooker, right? But what if you could actually flip that script and turn all that pressure into power? Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We're diving deep into ConSur's game-changing strategy to absolutely conquer your board exams in just 15 days.
First things first, let's talk about that feeling. You know the one, that sinking, panicky feeling that everything you've ever studied has just, poof, vanished, and all that's left is this huge, overwhelming fear. Sound familiar? Look, so many students go through this, but here's the thing. That feeling, it isn't real. It's just a signal, a huge flashing sign telling you it's time to change your game plan.
So what's the big secret? ConSur's core message is super simple. In these last few days, stop trying to work harder. It's all about working smarter. Think about it. The students who are freaking out the most right now, they're the ones trying to cram 100% of the syllabus. That's a recipe for burnout. The real key is to switch from brute force to pure strategy.
And he has this amazing analogy to really drive this point home. Picture two countries, Bangladesh and Japan. Now, you might not know this, but they have roughly similar population sizes. But look at the results. Japan's focus on smart work, on efficiency, has created this economic powerhouse. It's the exact same thing with studying. You could have two students pulling all-nighters, putting in the same number of hours, but the one who works smart, they're going to win every single time.
So what does working smart actually look like? It all comes down to something he calls the 30-90 rule. And this is a game changer. The whole idea is to find that vital 30% of your syllabus, the real heavy hitters that can deliver a whopping 90% of your results. How do you find it? Easy. Dig into old question papers, see what topics pop up again and again. Check the chapter weightage your board gives out. You're basically becoming a detective, hunting for those high-yield topics.
I mean, just look at this. The impact is just incredible. Let it sink in for a second. You focus your energy on just 30% of the material, and that small, targeted effort can get you 90% of the way to your goal. That's not just smart, that's genius. It is the ultimate example of leverage.
And hey, this isn't some abstract theory. We're talking about real, concrete examples. Take physics, for instance. If you absolutely nail the light chapter, reflection, refraction, all of it, you've just covered a massive chunk of the questions they can throw at you. It's the same story in history with the nationalism chapters, or in geography with resources and agriculture. Every single subject has these high-impact zones, these gold mines. You just have to find them.
Okay, so you found your key 30%. Awesome. But now what? How do you actually tackle it without burning out? Well, you need a daily structure, a plan that works with your brain's natural energy levels, not against them. So let's break down this 3-part daily plan for maximum impact.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of your day. Step 1, mornings. This is when your brain is fresh, so this is your time for the tough stuff. Long answers, theorems, those really complex ideas. Step 2, afternoons. Now you switch gears to practice. This is when you're solving problems, chapter by chapter, and hitting at least 2 full model papers. And finally, step 3, night. The last thing you do before you sleep is revise. You just quickly go over everything you learned in practice that day. Why? Because doing it right before bed is like a secret hack for locking that info into your long-term memory.
Now, I need you to listen really closely to this next part, because ConSur says this is absolutely critical. You can have the most brilliant plan in the world, the best notes, everything, but if your body and mind aren't ready for the fight, none of it matters. Your health, right now, isn't a luxury. It's a non-negotiable part of your strategy.
So before you even start this intense 15-day sprint, he says you've got to do a quick health check. And he's serious about this. First, proper sleep. That's a must. Then things like your blood pressure, but also get your hemoglobin checked. Why? Because hemoglobin carries oxygen to your brain. If it's low, you'll feel gassed after just 30 minutes of studying. Same with your platelet count. Any of these are off and your focus is just gone. You have to take this stuff seriously.
Think about it like this. Getting sick right now isn't just a bummer, it's a strategic disaster. And it's not even about feeling physically bad. The real problem is what it does to your brain. It completely shatters your concentration. So forget everything else for a second. Your number one job for the next 15 days is to stay healthy, period.
And how do you stay healthy and avoid burnout? He uses this great analogy of climbing stairs. Imagine you have to get to the 10th floor. If you just sprint up the stairs without stopping, you'll probably collapse around the 5th floor, totally out of breath. But if you take a little break on each floor, catch your breath, you'll make it to the 10th floor, no problem. Those breaks aren't wasting time. They're what give you the endurance to reach the top.
So what does that break look like in your study schedule? It's a simple cycle. You go hard for 40 minutes, total focus, no distractions. Then you take a 5-minute break, and this is key. It has to be an active, screen-free break. No phone, get up, walk around, talk to your mom or dad, stretch a little. Just 5 minutes. It's like a reset button for your brain, so you can go back for another 40 minutes feeling totally refreshed.
All right, let's talk about your most powerful weapon in this final battle, your notes. Because let's be real, you don't have time to read entire textbooks over and over again. For quick, super effective revision, your own short notes are going to be your absolute best friend.
The mission is simple. Take a 5-page chapter and crush it down into one single page. One. But here's the trick. This page isn't a summary of the whole chapter. No, it's a list of only the things that you keep forgetting. The key formulas, the tricky concepts, the specific dates that just won't stick in your brain. And these notes have to be totally personalized. For math, you're just writing down the formulas you always get mixed up. For physics, it's those specific values, like for small g or capital G. For chemistry, maybe it's the pH values or the colors of certain elements. Even for Hindi or literature, just jot down the author and poet names you can never remember. Think of it as a custom-made cheat sheet, just for your brain.
Okay, we've covered strategy, health, and revision tools. But now we come to the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this might be the most important part of all. It all comes down to your mindset. Because you can have the perfect plan, the perfect notes, but if your head's not in the game, it's all for nothing.
And to explain this, Conser tells this incredible story. Think about a deer and a lion. The deer is actually faster. It can outrun the lion, no question. So why does it get caught? Because of a fatal mistake. After it gets a little bit ahead, it stops, and it looks back. It hesitates. It checks to see where the lion is. And in that one moment of doubt, that's when the lion closes in and strikes.
The lesson here is powerful. Be the lion, not the deer. A lion never looks back. It has 100% focus on its target. It doesn't doubt. It doesn't hesitate. It just moves forward. And that's you. You are the lions of this board exam. Stop looking back at what you didn't study or what you forgot. From this moment on, you only look forward. You only focus on the target.
So what is that target? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not just passing. That's the deer's mindset, just trying to escape. No, you have the lion's mindset. You're here to dominate. So aim higher. Aim for a first division. Aim for 80% plus. Go for 90%. Aim for a score that's going to make you, your parents, everyone incredibly proud.
Look, this entire strategy is designed to do one thing: strip away all that fear and replace it with focus, confidence, and a clear plan of attack. So as you head into these final 15 days, there's really only one question left to ask yourself. Are you ready? Don't just go and take your exams, go and hunt down your goals.